Okay, on these inequalities, I notice that there is a fraction. So your first responsibility is to get rid of the fraction, and I do that by multiplying each term times the denominator, like this. So 16 times 9 is 134. Bring down the inequality. 10 times 9 is 90. And then on the fraction, if it's the same thing on the top and the bottom, they cancel each other out. So I just have a negative 1v there. Now I look to see where my variable is, because you've got to get rid of everything that's on the same side as that variable. So I have to get rid of a positive 90. The opposite of positive 90 is negative 90. So subtract 90 from both sides. 134 take away 90 is 44. Bring down the greater than or equal, opposites cancel, bring down the negative 1v. Now this v is not by itself, it's got a negative 1. So since they're stuck together, that's being multiplied, and the opposite of multiply is divide. So I divide by everything, including the negative sign, that's stuck to the v. So on this first fraction, there is a negative on the bottom, but there's no negative on the top to cancel it out. So it stays negative, because with fractions it takes two negatives to cancel. And then divide. 44 divided by 1 is 44. Now here's the thing. See how we divided by a negative number? When you divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality. So it's not going to be a greater than or equal to answer. It's going to be a less than or equal to answer. Now with fractions, the negative 1 cancels with the negative 1. Since v is by itself, you are finished. So again, here's what we did. Take the denominator and put that with each term. We're multiplying here. With the fractions, 7 cancels with 7, so I have a negative 5y left there. Plus 1 times 7 is 7, is less than negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. I need to subtract 7 from both sides. Bring down the negative 5y, opposites cancel, bring down the less than. Okay, the signs are the same, so we find the sum. We have to add them. So 28 plus 7 is 35, and the 28 is larger, and it's negative. That means you have a negative 35. Now this is negative 5 times y, so the opposite of times is divide. So you divide by everything that's stuck to your letter, including the negative. Since you're divided by a negative number, you're going to flip that inequality. So top cancels with bottom. It's not going to be a less than answer, it's going to be a greater than answer. On the second fraction, the negative on the top cancels with the negative on the bottom, because they're the same thing, top and bottom. And then 35 divided by 5 is 7. So y is greater than 7 is the answer. Multiply everything by 3. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Top cancels with bottom for the fraction, so I have a positive 8w is greater than 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Opposites cancel. Bring down the 8w. Bring down the greater than. 6 plus 3 is 9. This is 8 times w, so I'm going to divide by 8. Now I'm not dividing by a negative number here, so I do not touch the inequality. Top cancels with bottom, so it's still going to stay greater than, and the 9 over 8 doesn't simplify, so just leave it exactly like it is. So w is greater than 9 over 8.